All right, let's talk about FZero, because this came up on Twitter, and I was surprised at how vocal people were online about this. This took off like crazy on Twitter, because we had some comments from I believe it was the ex-developer, right, ex-producer on the game, who said that FZero is not dead. It's hard to bring back. How do you bring back FZero and make it feel like a full-fledged game? And I guess now we'll just take 2021, for example, compared to, I guess games in its genre, just other racing games, because FZero was never a deep racing game. It really wasn't. It was just all arcadey. You just go really fast. It was basically Wipeout. And when was the last new Wipeout game we got? I feel like it's been we had Wipeout. It was Wipeout HD, because that was
a while since Sony shut down that studio.
But that was like a $20 game, from what I remember. It wasn't an expensive game.
Yeah, PS4 only had the digital one. Yeah. PlayStation Vita had, what was it, Wipeout 2048?
2048. Yep. Which that game's probably worth more than maybe the PS4 game now, because it's on the Vita. But yeah, even that, like you see on Sony's side, they haven't even like put a ton of money in. But like, I don't know, Twitter, everything blew up on Twitter about FZero, about wanting this. And I made a joke about it, but everyone was like real serious about getting FZero to come back. So I was trying to figure out, okay, how do they make FZero now? What do they do to make this work?
Just make the goddamn games. Don't overthink it, Nintendo. Just, you have a great IP that it's admired, it's loved, it's cherished. People want to see it. Just make the goddamn game. It does. You can either port the GameCube version, bring it forward, and add some really cool quality of life enhancements, or come up with a new game. It doesn't have to be a blockbuster AAA. We have to think about a different way to bring FZero to the fans, because we've already tried that formula. Just make the game. I mean, it's not hard.
My thing with the FZero stuff is, I love FZero GX on the GameCube, one of the best racing games
it's very good
ever made. Is the vocal outcry that we're having for FZero's comeback that we saw this week similar to what we had with Kid Icarus Uprising? Is this just a very small group of people being vocal, and if the game does come, it's going to sell 750,000 copies, and Nintendo's going to sit there and say, you all didn't shut up about it. We brought you the game. You again didn't buy it.
When we're going to learn about that, it is going to be when Metroid Prime 4 comes out.
Yes. That's a great point.
Or 2D Metroid.
It's gonna be or 2D Metroid. That's a good point. Because
how did Samus Returns do?
Yeah, how did that sell on the 3DS?
It didn't do that great.
It didn't do that well, but the excuses for that are, well, people want it on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's late, so whatever, Yeah, I agree with what Nate is saying, and I agree with what MVG is saying. I think that they should do something. I'm a fan of it too, but at the same time, like, what I don't like are the crazy, like when we got people doing crazy comparisons now because they're angry. Maybe it's been 18 years, so they're really upset. They're bringing up, well, Mario's getting new games. Like, they're bringing up franchises that sell millions of copies. It's like, if F-Zero sold like Mario, we wouldn't be in this position. There'd be hella
no
F-Zero
questions
games.
asked.
But people are liking these posts. People are retweeting. People are saying, "Look, yeah, this person's right." That's what I just don't like the super cap when it comes to it. If you want something, that's cool, but stop with the comparisons to franchises that are selling way better, as if that's not the reason why. Right? It's sales. It's not because they can't. That's a byproduct. If F-Zero sold, this franchise we'd have more. Or if the merch was like Kirby, because Kirby's extremely popular with merch and like t-shirts, all that type of stuff. If it was like that, then F-Zero would be around, but it's not. So I think that's the thing that people need to focus on. It's not about, I don't personally think it's much about sale or much about like ideas, more as like the sales are just not there. F-Zero GX is the best F-Zero game ever, and it sold worse than like almost all the other ones, right?
Yeah.
I think
I played it for the first time last month, actually. Like, that was my first F-Zero game ever. I do think that the Nintendo Switch does have the ability to potentially carry that game in sales, though. Like, especially if they launch it, it gets a lot of good feedback and it catches more attention to the general public. I think the Switch being as big as it is alone will actually end up boosting the sales of F-Zero if they do decide to try to take that game.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think the Switch could help elevate the sales of a title like an F-Zero GX HD if priced correctly. F-Zero GX and HD, you probably cannot slap a $60 price on. You
Oh,
have
you
to
know
come
they will,
in
though.
cheaper. You have to come in at like $39.99.
Don't get people expecting $40 or something like that. You know
You
they're
have
gonna
to position that you have to position FZero at a more affordable price.
I would agree, but I also at the same time I think it'd be interesting to see how Smash has impacted the advertisement for even just Captain Falcon as a character in general.
Absolutely.
For the FZero, because it's been how long at this point, and how many people I'm not gonna say it. I'm just saying I've realized there's a whole community that likes Captain Falcon way more than I ever thought someone could like Captain Falcon. I think you guys are freaking weird. No, I think it would be interesting to see after all this time if for sure people are just being outraged over it and they don't end up buying it themselves. I mean, I personally I would love to cover those games as well.
Me too.
Look, it's okay that Nintendo doesn't make millions and millions of dollars on a game, right? Like, not everything has to sell 5 million. Look, F-Zero is probably not going to sell anywhere close to 5 million. Might sell 1 million, right? But that's okay, isn't it? Like, why? It's the Sean Layden thing again. You know, the Sean Layden quote, like he said, right? Yeah. Why can't we just make this game? Why can't we make another Star Fox game? These games that were beloved, you know, on the GameCube, on the N64 and everything. Yeah. Some of them have just been pushed to the side, right? Because, you know, Nintendo's done the marketing and they've decided that they're not really relevant anymore for whatever reason. But it's okay to take risks again. And I think they should start looking at these and start trying these things. I mean, they may be surprised about, you know, the response they get for some of these games. I think it's worth at least giving these games a shot, you know, on the Switch. Because I think, honestly, the Switch is the best platform for some of these games. And I think they really need to give them a go.
Definitely.
So where would you rank F-Zero then? Like, because like people have like tiers, I guess, for some of like these different franchises. Like, obviously, it's not like you said, it's not a Mario, it's not a Zelda, nothing like that. It's not Splatoon. The Splatoon's up there too. The big, really at this point, the three for Nintendo because they have them as their marketing is like it's Splatoon, it's Zelda. Legend of Zelda, and it's Mario. Those are the ones they put up there.
Animal Crossing,
yeah. Well, I mean, do they even use the Animal Cross any of the villagers in like their marketing? Because I see the Inkling. I guess you could say Isabelle, yeah. Yeah, but like
Isabelle just got a Build-A-Bear release.
She did. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, they had that marketing where they had the Nintendo logo up and they had 3 characters, right, walking across.
Yes.
Yeah. And were the 3 characters?
There's Inkling.
It was 4 characters, right?
Was it 4? I thought it was. I thought it was Inkling, Mario, and
that was a Nintendo Tokyo, right?
Yeah, and it was pretty obvious who they were positioning as like their top characters, right?
Animal Crossing is definitely like, I guess it's more because like you make your own villager. There's not like a
maybe that's what it is. There's not like an obvious like this is
Mario. Yeah, it's Mario, Inkling, Isabelle, villager, and Link.
There you go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that like those ones, obviously those are their top tier franchises, the ones that are like, all right, these are the big ones. So like, would you put F-Zero along with like Pikmin and and Kirby?
No. Kirby is one of the most consistent performers that Nintendo has. They know exactly what they're getting with each Kirby release. F-Zero, I mean, I'd put it a tier below them.
You put a tier below Pikmin even though it outsells Pikmin games?
This is a King K rule tier.
F-Zero GX was one of the best games on the GameCube. It's ranked as one of the best games on the system.
Yeah, but we're going back 18 years. Nintendo's evolved. Nintendo's changed. Games from that era, which were niche, are now mainstream popular. Animal Crossing was nothing on the GameCube. Now look at it.
It still outsold GX. That's the funny, as a new IP, it still outsold GX, and GX was as established game. That I think that's probably the biggest problem, is that how the performance of GX did on the GameCube, considering how good the game is and how it struggled to even get to 1.5 million players' choice. I mean, that's tough, you know. And
I blame the GameCube for a lot of F-Zero GX failures. The game was very difficult.
Here we go, boys and girls. Here we go again.
It didn't have the demographic to play that type of challenging game. If it was an older based crowd that had the GameCube, that difficulty level wouldn't have been the only thing people kept reciting of, this game kicked my ass.
That's why I say it deserves another chance, because I feel like on the Switch it really could open up the to a bigger audience.
I need to see sales on this GameCube. Hold on. I need to see the game, see what they sold. Let's see.
1.5. That's what I
Okay. So, all right. So F-Zero GX, 1.5 million. That means that F-Zero GX outsold Mario Party 5, Sonic Mega Collection, Resident Evil, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Pokemon XD, Resident Evil 0, Mario Golf, Toadstool Tour, Super Mario Strikers, Pikmin, Kirby Air Ride, Rogue Leader, Soul Calibur 2, Star Fox Assault, and Mario Party 6.
Yep.
Are we sure it's that far down the tier list, Nate?
Yeah.
Because it's
pretty
outselling some of
All
these
those
games.
franchises got new entries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How come F-Zero didn't then?
Because it's F-Zero. Because it's not Mario.
I think Nintendo, being the creative company that they are legitimately stumped on F-Zero.
Yeah, I said.
I don't think they know what to do with it.
They're overthinking this. Like, this is not hard, but like, I think they're just, they in their minds they feel like if we're going to bring back F-Zero, we have to come up with a unique, creative approach to a new game. But you don't have to do that. I mean,
I don't think there's anything to do with sales.
Yeah,
I think the existing formula is okay.
Yeah, I know there'd definitely be people who would complain if it was a port. There'd also be people who would complain if it was a similar idea, much like Star Fox Zero was kind of, different elements, but there was a lot of reskinning. So I think for them, they probably would want to set it apart, and have it be its own thing. But I think obviously like the demographic like we have for games such as Bayonetta, which is a little bit different than your Mario players per se. I think that they would really want something that was a hook, line, and sinker, to get you really interested into it. And I think if they would want to bring it over and revitalize it, they'd want it to be a hit. I think honestly, I feel like it's such a cool universe. It's possible. But again, how much effort are they willing to put into that? Or I don't know.
I don't think they'd make it. I think they'd contract it to somebody. I think another studio would make it.
They could.
One of their big things, we've discussed this, is they already have a hit racing game. They have Mario Kart, and for them to spend resources on another one, which probably won't, but could take away attention if they're releasing a Mario Kart 9, like, oh, here's another racer we're doing with Nintendo IP. So I think there's a lot of trying to figure out how to make it, like we said, different. What makes it stand out? Who's the crowd that they're going for? Obviously, they want all their fans to play it. They want to market it to everyone, but when you put it in the store and hey, you want Mario Kart 9 or you want new F-Zero, I think most people are going to gravitate to, at least the main consumer will probably gravitate towards Mario Kart.
Do you think that them putting giving F-Zero a cameo in Mario Kart kind of like was them attempting to generate interest or see if it sparked anything?
No, I think it was just them honoring their legacy a bit. Because Mario Kart 8, we saw so many of them. We saw a lot of that crossover, Animal Crossing, Splatoon, Zelda. I think it was just them saying, hey, we kind of have another racing franchise. Let's throw in a track and a couple of karts just to, bring some honor to that software that we had created.
I think maybe it's a combination. Maybe like it's a little bit of what everyone's saying here, man. Like I see what Click is saying though, bro. Like if you like bring the same thing, it's going to be limited, the scope. I mean, you can just do it for the fans, I guess, but the franchise will never grow and evolve into something more unless you try something. So they might be stumped on it. It might be they don't want to invest the money that it would take because you'd have to have dope graphics, right? If you want a new F-Zero, it's got to be like really good graphics. It's got to surpass GX, right? Wouldn't you guys? I mean, if you want F-Zero to be like big and better and all that, it'd have to be way better than GX. And that wouldn't be easy to be way better than GX. I mean, you have modern tech, so that's cool because I'm a fan. I played all the F-Zeros almost day one, man. I would save up and try to get them. And anytime that I played, I always had a ton of fun. But man, like they were always like the most technically advanced games. Weren't you like always surprised and like wow with how great they ran and how they looked? It was always incredible, So they'd have to do something really incredible for this to actually expand a bit more. So I'm hoping they can. I mean, F-Zero GX HD would be dope, but it'd be the same thing we've been playing forever, Like it really would be. So I would like to see them try something new with the franchise, but I mean, I can understand why some people would just want F-Zero GX,
I mean, there's definitely areas you can expand upon, like GX or even F-Zero X. It introduced the spin, so you could take out opponents on the racetrack. Expand upon that. Expand upon the rival system that we saw in both of those games, where when you're racing against them, it's not just your rivals in first place.
Battle Royale.
Be aggressive with you.
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale?
No, please.